The F1 paddock is currently in turmoil as the Japanese Grand Prix approaches, with Liam Lawson reportedly facing dismissal from Red Bull after only 2 race weekends. The New Zealand driver is expected to return to the Racing Bulls team, while Yuki Tsunoda will take his place. Lawson's brief stint with Red Bull has been marked by significant challenges, as the 23-year-old was unable to progress beyond Q1 in both the sprint and feature race sessions, finishing without any points. In contrast, his teammate Max Verstappen accumulated 36 points during the same time frame. Meanwhile, McLaren is under scrutiny following a strong performance in Shanghai. The team from Woking is aiming for both world championships, but tensions rose when Lando Norris encountered a serious brake issue during the Chinese Grand Prix. As for the next Grand Prix, teams are currently enjoying a 2-week hiatus following the Chinese event. Some drivers are pleased with their season's start, while others will need to reassess their strategies. They will return to action for the Japanese Grand Prix on April 6th. A Red Bull insider has shared insights regarding the challenges of being Max Verstappen's teammate, highlighting how his exceptional skills can make it difficult for others to compete alongside him. Reports suggest that Lawson's potential exit follows Sergio Perez's struggles in the same role. In a discussion on the High Performance podcast, Red Bull ambassador and former power unit technician Callum Nicholas elaborated on this issue. Max has never seemed concerned about anyone surpassing his speed. He is fully aware of his own abilities, which gives him a certain advantage. He understands that if a competitor can achieve a particular lap time, he can push himself to go even faster. Above all, it's about resilience. Over the years, we've observed that Max's teammates often struggle with his remarkable ability to bounce back. If he experiences a challenging weekend with a less-than-ideal car, Max manages to extract the best performance possible from it. For many drivers who have shared the garage with him, this can be difficult to witness. It can be disheartening. You might achieve a commendable lap and think, "I've maximized the car's potential," only for Max to find an additional 0.2 of a second. This can take a significant mental toll on those around him, not due to any fault of Max's, as he is simply focused on achieving the fastest times. However, it is a tough reality for others to accept. Oliver Bierman has expressed his dissatisfaction with the recent controversy surrounding out-of-context radio messages. After his "ciao" remark, made following an overtaking maneuver on Liam Lawson, was aired during a replay of his move against Carlos Sainz, he spoke to Channel 4 about the situation. "I genuinely regret saying that," he stated. "They misrepresented me because I didn't direct that comment at Carlos. It was played at an inappropriate moment. I said it to Lawson and the Alpine team after I overtook them. That's always an exhilarating move for a racing driver. I went to the outside, they overshot the corner, allowing me to capitalize on the exit, which is always thrilling. I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't aimed at Carlos. I had a great time during the race, felt confident on the brakes, although I did experience a slight lock-up while trying to overtake Stroll at one point. However, I learned from that and ultimately enjoyed the experience." Verstappen favored to win Drivers' Championship title. Former Formula One driver Mark Schurer asserts that Max Verstappen remains the frontrunner for the Drivers' Championship title. Although the Dutch racer currently possesses the 4th fastest car on the grid, he is aiming for a 5th consecutive championship. "With 24 races ahead, I prefer not to predict the champion before the season begins," Schurer stated in an interview with Maktavar. "See, however, if I were to rank the contenders, I would place Max Verstappen at the top, followed by Lando Norris in second and Charles Leclerc in third. Verstappen has demonstrated his ability to secure a championship even without the fastest car, establishing himself as the leading driver in Formula One at present. Lando Norris could have a significant opportunity if McLaren implements necessary changes, especially since he has a strong teammate in Oscar Piastri who may take points away from him. Last season, it took too long for the team to make adjustments. Regarding Leclerc, Ferrari has recently lost Enrico Cardile, one of their technical leaders, to Aston Martin, raising questions about their competitiveness this year. Schumacher's unpopularity among fellow drivers. Christian Danner has remarked that Michael Schumacher was not well liked by his fellow Formula One competitors. On the track, Schumacher could be quite aggressive, Danner commented to Spaceport Sweden. His tactics were often seen as unfair. Just listen to the opinions of Mika Hakkinen and others, including friends or Nick Heidfeld. One only needs to observe how many drivers he forced off the track. He employed numerous unsavory tactics, which fortunately are no longer permitted due to their significant danger. Consequently, he was not particularly well liked among his fellow drivers. I can only observe this and conclude that it seemed rather unjust. However, witnessing him drive was truly a delight, as he exhibited exceptional car control and a distinctive driving style that was quite challenging. His approach to driving was incredibly intense, allowing him to achieve speeds that surpassed those of others. While it is difficult to articulate, I admired him for this talent. On a personal level, I found it easy to get along with him. Although we were not close friends due to our differing social circles and lifestyles, we enjoyed a good rapport whenever we interacted, whether during conversations or occasional activities together. Over the past 27 years, I have attended every single Grand Prix, and within the Formula One community, one tends to encounter the same individuals repeatedly. In that sense, I had a good relationship with Michael. Vettel supports Hamilton in pursuit of F1 championship. Four-time Formula One world champion Sebastian Vettel has expressed his desire to see Lewis Hamilton bring an end to Ferrari's championship drought. In an interview with the BBC, Vettel remarked, "For me, it didn't quite pan out because Lewis was competing, so we will see how he performs now. However, I am certainly hopeful. I have raced against him for a long time, and we have a good rapport. He is undoubtedly the most vocal driver on the grid at present, and his on-track abilities are well known. The statistics speak volumes, and it is encouraging to see him still competing and wielding his influence positively. Naturally, I am rooting for him to secure the championship, but Charles is also in the mix, and I have raced alongside him. I believe it is a formidable lineup, and ultimately many factors must align for a driver to contend for the championship in the final races. We will see how it unfolds. It will be competitive, but I am not discounting anyone." FIA engages in discussions. Regarding V10 engines in F1, Nicolas Tombazis, the head of single-seaters at the FIA, has confirmed that initial discussions have begun concerning a transition to V10 engines following the turbo-hybrid era. Certainly, advancements in sustainable fuels and other factors have prompted considerations that the engines could potentially be simplified, he stated. The current global economic climate suggests that we should explore ways to reduce costs, as the existing power units are excessively expensive. This is an undeniable reality. We would prefer a reduction in costs. This is why the President commented on the V10 engine in 2028 and beyond. We are currently assessing this matter with the power unit manufacturers. We are engaging in open discussions with them regarding the optimal direction for the sport. Should any decision be made, we would need to consider the implications during the interim period. However, we would never make unilateral changes or impose decisions without thorough discussions. Sky Sports F1 co-commentator Martin Brundle has provided insights into the potential reasons for the disqualifications of Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc from the Chinese Grand Prix. In his column for Sky Sports, Brundle noted, "The unexpected twist was the post-race disqualification of both Ferrari's and Pierre Gasly's Alpine. Leclerc and Gasly were disqualified for being slightly underweight. This situation is reminiscent of last year's incident in Spa involving George Russell, where extended runs on a single set of tyres resulted in a loss of several kilograms of tyre tread. Additionally, the race pace was strong, and the absence of safety cars led to increased fuel consumption, further reducing mass. Although Leclerc's damaged front wing was permitted to be replaced, he still ended up underweight. Ultimately, this reflects a miscalculation by the team in not allowing sufficient margin for various circumstances." Tsunoda expresses gratitude. For Zak Brown's support, Yuki Tsunoda extended his thanks to Zak Brown, the CEO of McLaren Racing, after Brown indicated that Red Bull may have erred in substituting Sergio Perez with Liam Lawson, particularly in light of Tsunoda's recent performance. "I appreciate Zak's comments in the media, but it's important to remember that it's just one race," Tsunoda remarked during the Chinese Grand Prix. "This situation has been ongoing since last year, following the first race. There have been various comparisons involving Daniel, Checo, myself, and Liam. It seems to be a recurring theme within our group. While it's encouraging, I must continue to focus on my own performance." Ultimately, they made their lineup decision at the end of last season, and perhaps they have a clear vision for the future, though I cannot say for certain. Mercedes team principal praises George Russell. Toto Wolff has asserted that George Russell ranks among the top 3 fastest drivers on the grid, following a 10 out of 10 performance at the Chinese Grand Prix. "While we haven't witnessed a flawless race, given the circumstances George faced in China, I would rate it a perfect score," Wolff stated. "He maximized the potential of the car, the tires, and the strategy, delivering an outstanding drive." Amid discussions surrounding Lewis Hamilton's potential move to Ferrari and Kimi Antonelli's entry as the youngest driver with significant promise, George has received less attention. "I have always believed this is unjust, as he is undoubtedly one of the elite drivers. If I were to identify 3 drivers I consider the best, he would certainly be among them, possibly even in the top 2. And he may be on track to claim the top spot." Vettel expresses a significant regret from his F1 career. Sebastian Vettel has disclosed a significant regret from his Formula One career, stating that he wishes he had utilized his platform to support causes he is passionate about earlier on. "As a rookie, my primary focus was on racing, and that consumed my entire day," he shared with the BBC. "However, in the last few years, I realized that one of my regrets, perhaps the only one, is not having spoken out sooner in my career and recognizing the potential influence and audience reach that a professional athlete can have to inspire others. Since then, I have been striving to convey messages that matter to me." Alonso discusses a troubling neck injury in Shanghai. Fernando Alonso competed at the Chinese Grand Prix while dealing with a neck injury. The Spanish driver had to retire from the race in Shanghai due to a brake failure. "I was using neck protection because I've been experiencing a pinched nerve or something similar over the past few days," he told the Spanish media. "However, it ultimately didn't provide much relief since I didn't complete many laps. We encountered a brake problem. The rear brakes were overheating from the very first lap, and on the last lap before my retirement when I applied the brakes into turn 1, the pedal went all the way down without any braking power." Verstappen expresses frustration with Red Bull over Lawson's dismissal. Max Verstappen has reportedly expressed dissatisfaction with Red Bull's choice to terminate Liam Lawson after only 2 Grand Prix events. The New Zealand driver was unable to advance beyond Q1 or earn points in Melbourne and China, and he has already been replaced for the Japanese Grand Prix by Yuki Tsunoda. A report from GP Blog indicates that Verstappen advised Red Bull earlier in the week to retain Lawson and provide him with additional time to prove himself. However, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko disregarded his recommendation, resulting in Verstappen's anger towards the team. As they approach the third round of the season, the Milton Keynes team finds itself in a challenging position following a notably uncompetitive weekend in Shanghai. Many experts believe that Red Bull currently possesses the fourth fastest car on the grid, which may not suffice for Verstappen to secure a fifth consecutive Drivers' Championship title.